This is Ketzer from Bölzer, and you are watching Stormbringer, the Austrian heavy Sein.
Started out in 2008, I think, with Bölzer. Was there already a concept of what the band should sound like or look like, or was it just happening on the way all along?
Yeah, initially it was a gradual process of discovering precisely what we wanted to do sound-wise. I had previous projects, but I wanted to do something fresh, and it took a while for us to find some common ground that we were happy with. We're quite critical, self-critical, so it was a gradual process. But initially the songs that were on the demo, Roman Acupuncture, they sort of formed during that year and the following year. And we started writing the EP material all around the same time, really, and sort of developed quite quickly, yeah. But initially it was a very chaotic sort of concept, you could call it.
But you sorted it out on the way.
Yes. It just took its own form on. Which is kind of something that's pretty common to our entire short career. I mean, the whole concept and the way we write and the way we execute the music is very instinctive. So we usually leave it to fate or the natural forces to decide what happens, which is.
But although it's intuitive, as you said, there seems to be a larger concept over the band with the logo and the flags and the letters that appear, and Hesser and Kesser, your pseudonyms or something like that. Was it clear from the beginning too that there would be the whole package of? Or was it just, let's say, a mythical thing that happened somewhere along the way?
Well, I mean, all of those points that you just mentioned, they came to fruition during that time as well. So 2008, 9, 10. So it was, I guess the concept as a whole became apparent quite quickly. I mean, the logo I drew was an arduous thing, but it came together quite well, I think, and all of the other symbolism we use as well, which is related to the logo, was all done around then. So it kind of laid the path that we've been walking ever since. I mean, now we're trying to branch out and try some new things. I mean, aesthetically we're constantly trying to evolve as well as musically. So.
But the three records, Soma, Aura and Hero, they are all interwoven with each other, right? The Soma is the female part, Aura is the more male part, and I think Hero is the one that binds it together, is that right?
Yes, I guess you could say so. I mean, Hero was more a culmination of a lot of things, quite a difficult time for me writing then. So it was an outlet for a lot of negative and positive energy. So I don't know. I guess once again, intuitively, it was the apex of that threefold formation. But on another level, it was just us, trying to experiment as well as getting out what was in our system.
But the circle is closed now for new stuff.
Yes.
So this trilogy is just it's done. Right?
Very much so. So the new material we're working on now is. I mean, they're related conceptually. Obviously, there is a thread going through what I've been writing, but it's another step forward. So there's different characters in play and so forth.
So the lightning, faithful kind of thing, which the tour is under. Is it a precursor for the next album as well, or is just the tour named that?
No, that was just something that seemed appropriate, I guess, at the time.
Because you posted a picture with a thunderbolt, which looks like an album cover of some sort.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's as I said, it's like a red thread that pulls itself through. It will continue to weave itself through the fabric, but it's a central theme, you know. I mean, it's related to the name directly and everything. So you might notice that the thunderbolt symbol has evolved a little as well. So yeah, we try to focus on that, and as I was saying, there'll be different energies that are being looked at for the new material. We're very happy with the direction it's going. It's quite different to Hero. I mean, it's just a different vibe. Yeah.
You will hear it coming from Bölzer anyway. Yeah.
most certainly.
Because it's quite outstanding in my opinion. You can hear a certain band vibe in it that's just there for Bölzer, you know. That's very unique for a band those days.
Yeah, I think so too. You know, I mean, if I do look up to other artists, it's when they're authentic and unique and try to challenge themselves in what they do. So, I mean, you know, we're very humble people, but we do our best. We give our best. We sacrifice a lot as well for what we do. So, I think things are coming along okay.
So there's a quote of you. You said once it's you have if you write a song for Bölzer, you have to it has to elevate you bodily and spiritually. How can we imagine writing a song like that? Is it just happening? Or is there plans like a song should sound like that elevates you?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, if you're inspired, if you're feeling inspired, I mean, generally I'll have a tendency to write, you know, and try to get it out of myself, or to stimulate, to be creative with that energy. And then again, I mean, it has to, the thing I'm working on, be it music or some other activity, has to energize me, has to stimulate me, has to bring me to somewhere else. Like I think stagnation is a pointless exercise, you know. I mean, so
life is a cycle anyway. A cycle.
Of course. Yeah. But we are alive, and I think it's our duty to live, and that means that means exerting oneself constantly, evolving constantly. That's what aging is. That it was everything, you know, is related to that. So to just take the easy path and allow oneself to create something uninspired is for me stagnation, and there's, you know, I never
not worth doing it.
I never saw any purpose in that. I mean, there are the bands that do that, obviously, that just rely on a simple formula and do that their entire career, which is, I mean, that's fine if you want to do that. That's no problem.
If you're a Motorhead, that's good.
Oh yeah, but you know, that's a different story, because it's not as if they weren't pushing themselves, you know.
You mentioned that some of the lyrics in the past were very personal, but also I know you're a very big fan of Nietzsche, Friedrich Nietzsche. Yeah. So the lyrics tend to be very philosophical in the records. So what is this a life philosophy for you, or is it just in the music?
Oh no, definitely. It's a life philosophy. I mean, you know, I don't live my life according to Nietzsche's Nietzsche's words, but I mean, if you're into you know, the grounding aspects of a philosophy such as his, existentialism, then you should, you know, it's bound to become a part of your life. And that was the case for me, reading such you know, amazing minds when I was 16, 17. It sort of carves the person you become, you know. So yeah, of course it finds its place in the music, because that's my playing field for expression. But yes, the way I live privately is kind of similar too. I try to excel myself. I try to push myself. I try to, you know, be true to myself above all, and be critical. You know, and I think there are some important things, especially nowadays. You know, I mean, a lot of those founding ideas were written or conceived in another period, rife with similar issues and similar social problems, but today everything's far more concentrated. And I think, if anything, it's very relevant to, you know, to have a sound life philosophy nowadays.
Kind of self-reflection.
Absolutely, yeah, of course. And
because I have the impression most of the people don't reflect themselves.
No, and I think it's a capital dishonor to oneself to just take things for granted. You know, I mean, that's the way all of the wrong people are able to exert their power over others. Is because people become reliant on all of these traps that are laid for them, you know, consumerism and being blinded by the smoke screen. So you have to constantly be critical. You have to think for yourself. You know, I mean, I don't know how you couldn't. For me, that's a very stimulating way to live. But
obviously, some of them are stuck in a rut or something.
Yeah, of course. You know, it comes down to comfort as well, and a lot of people don't have the means or the time to maybe break out of that.
Maybe the money as well.
Yes, you know, and economically difficult countries, it's more appropriate, I guess, for people to be focused on work and surviving, you know. But we live in more of a I mean, we do have the
wonderland.
We have the luxury to think. So I think it's our duty to really break down those barriers.
Now, you grew up partly in New Zealand as well, and your father is partly Nigerian, British. So you have a very multicultural background. Does that reflect in your philosophy as well, in your way you write songs or you handle the art and everything?
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm an open person, you know. I'm not I'm most certainly not a racist or just a bigot, you know. For me, a man deserves full respect, and obviously women as well, deserves full respect until they prove themselves otherwise. You know, I think. Well, I think it's a duty for a person to behave in an honourable manner. You know, anyone that doesn't, regardless of their colour or creed, is someone, distasteful for me. But so I was raised that way. You know, to see the world in a rational light, I guess. But a very musical family. So I was constantly inundated with good music at home, which I'm very grateful for. And that's kind of the way I was raised. I mean, I don't see myself as being a multicultural entity or something like that. You know, I'm just a person. I'm just here, and that's
maybe you got some insights other people haven't. So,
sure. I'm fascinated.
Different cultures. Or something.
Absolutely, I'm fascinated by a lot of cultures, and that's something that I get from that for sure. Yeah.
So is your father a kind of role model for you as well?
Yeah. He's a great man and a very talented musician. He's a bright individual as well, and he taught me a lot about, you know, reading good authors, good thinkers, books. So, and as well as showing me great music, which I'm very, very happy with.
Of course. So coming to music, if you are from Switzerland, of course, I have to ask you, how much influenced are you by legendary Swiss bands like Hellhammer or Corona? Of course.
Of course. I mean, they're classics. I'm a
Celtic Frost, of course.
Yeah, I'm a huge Celtic Frost Hellhammer fan, and I see Tom as a friend, although I don't see him very often. But and Triptychon is also a fantastic band. I really respect him musically and individually. So I know that we know the Corona guys, just running by at airports or shows. Really nice, great dudes, and obviously talented musicians as well. There's a lot of Switzerland has an interesting musical past in the metal and rock genres. So
Crocus.
Of course. You know the if you want a different AC/DC version, like earlier, then it's kind of cool. But I know the modern metal scene is. There's a lot of uninspired things going on, but there's also some interesting bands, which are, But we have a very secular scene. That said, a lot of people keep to themselves. There's quite a bit of elitism, which I'm sure a lot of the European countries are used to. There's especially
a kind of mentality issue as well, I guess.
You have like your black metal contingents from each city, and they kind of stick to themselves, which is fine. We were never very. What do you say? Like very social regarding all of that. Well, we have our friends who make music in Switzerland, but we generally keep to ourselves. I don't know. It's
I always like to. I always say I hate people, but I don't hate people because I have a lot to do with people. But on the other hand, it's getting too much at some point. So yeah, there's a point when I hate people as well.
Well, you know,
I can't see them anymore. You know.
Yeah, of course. You know, I mean, every person has his limits, his or her limits, and you know, feelings of misanthropy are something a lot of people are faced with, especially in this day and age. Yeah. But I guess it's important if you have, you know, beautiful nature at your doorstep. It's important to get out, and it can cleanse you.
On a family meeting like this, for example.
Yeah, of course. You know.
For me, it's a family meeting because I know lots of people.
Most of people,
What do you think about this here? Did you play before here?
No, this is the first
I don't
time.
remember. Yeah,
First time in Kaltenbach.
Yeah.
But we're obviously fans of festivals that take place in a forest or in the countryside. It's always a nice experience. We're big fans of you know, Funkenflug and Bart and all the guys back there. So it's nice to see a lot of festivals doing that.
There are a lot of two-piece bands at the moment, like Magla or Mantar or Inquisition, that just play by two people.
Yeah.
Are there any restrictions for you on stage, for example, when you play with just two people?
I guess there are certain limitations. Technically, you know, I mean, if something goes wrong with my setup, I'm left to my own devices, you know. There's no other guitarist to back me up or a bassist. But I don't know, you don't really think that way. I mean, it's more about executing what you have to do and doing it well, and trying to, I guess, you know, minimize the possibility of something like that happening.
You don't have to explain it to somebody else.
No, I mean, that's a nice thing. Yes, the dualistic relationship as writers, you know, is a great situation too. There's a lot less baggage there, like different egos, for example, or things that could hinder the creative process. So I'm happy about that. That's fine. Travel makes it easier. But you know, it's a challenge, and we like a challenge.
Any point where you said, "Oh my God, I wish there were a second guitar player right now on the stage"?
Oh yeah, I guess there's been moments. Yeah, for sure. We're quite used to difficult moments technically, but it's something you work on, you know. And guys like Hanno from Mantar, Erinch, they're, as well as being great friends of ours, they're also inspiration, you know, because Hanno's such a crazy tech head, so he gives me great tips, you know, which can help me out with my setup as well.
They played here last year. They were really going mad.
Yeah. We just saw them yesterday. Well, we were with them a few days, so
cool.
yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much for talking to me in this nice backdrop here, which is real. This is real.
A real backdrop.
The real backdrop. We didn't hang it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. And I'll let you go to your show because it starts in like an hour or something.
Yeah, we have to set up soon. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, and see you on stage.
Cool, man. Appreciate it.